I used to judge myself really harsh, man. Like if I was sleeping around and I chose to sleep with a girl who wasn't quite as attractive as other girls, I was like, like immediately I felt shameful, to be honest, man. I felt kind of gross. I just ashamed myself. And like my energy towards her wasn't as good. You start to take responsibility of the other person as you become more conscious. Because you'll start out and you'll just be super selfish. You'll actually have to block out thoughts like, how is she feeling? Is this okay for her? Does she like this? Because you'll be so selfish in the beginning, dude. You'll just be doing, everything for yourself. Please me is what you'll be thinking and saying and enacting, right? Like, I'll be really specific, man. Like I remember like just requesting lots of blowjobs. Honestly, man, I was just sitting there receiving this and I was like, dude, I'm a selfish bastard. Look at me. Because I just realized, like, I don't actually care about the person. It's not genuine. It's not loving. It's not conscious. And you'll go through this whole process, man. Because you can still do it. You don't have to demonize it. You don't have to make it bad. You don't have to condemn it. It's not wrong. No, man. It's part of the journey. Now, like, for me, man, I did it when I was less conscious, when I was way more in my ego, and when I had a lot of sexual energy to burn through. I don't really have any regret, brother. Not really. I don't really feel like you should regret anything, man, because it's all part of the path. It's all part of your journey. The only thing I'll say on that, man, is like, you will look back and you will like appreciate if you did make slightly wiser decisions. Like if you slept with this person who is like, you just trust more, you just feel safer with, you even have like deep conversations with, like there was one person I remember like before we would have sex, we would just like smoke and drink together and just like look at the stars, and like we were both very depressed, but there was something there. Whereas other times it was just like immediately sex. Like there was no real connection. And honestly, man, like as someone who's taking more responsibility now, I can see that was on me. Like I didn't create the space for a conversation. I didn't show myself. I didn't share anything, And when you don't show yourself, the person doesn't show themselves either. Like you might see them physically, but you don't see them. And like, as I've become more conscious, I realized like, you can see someone is to see their soul, is to see them. When you see someone and you connect. But when you're doing a bunch of this work, dude, you can lose that. And you can just be basically staring at the wall as you're having sex, as you're fucking. And you're like, dude, this isn't it. Now, I know I've echoed that a lot, man. Like, this isn't it. And that's true. That is true. But again, man, you can do it consciously. You can. It's just with self-honesty, with transparency, with consciousness and conscious communication, and not with like this selfish energy where you just want to get your dick wet and you just want to pleasure yourself and you just want to have that like ego reward of, increasing the number of girls you're sleeping with. Dude, I used to be so stuck on that. I used to be so stuck on trying to get the number of girls that I was sleeping with as high as possible, as quick as possible. I would even do maths, brother. I'd be thinking stuff like, okay, it's the middle of the month. I've got 2 more weeks. Okay, I can approach on this Thursday, and then, I'd sit down and I'd break it down. I'd project forward. I think, okay, well, what are my numbers this month? If I sleep with this number of girls a year, how many years is it going to take me to get to this number? And then I had someone ask me once, like, they basically said, like, why? Why that number? And like, I really thought about it. I was like, dude, like, telling someone doesn't really work. Because when you tell someone, if your number's kind of high, they don't care. And like, they're not going to appreciate you for like flexing on them or boasting, or like, you kind of break it down. You kind of be like quite realistic and pragmatic. Like, okay, well, like, where is this number? Like, where is the use of this? And like, you realize like telling people isn't really like it. Like the reward, it's very shallow and egotistical, and it kind of like pisses people off. And then like, you kind of realize, oh shit, it's just for my ego. is just so I can tell myself that story that I've slept with that number of girls as like a weird, twisted way to improve or elevate my self-esteem. And so you have this moment where you're like, okay, right. I don't need to do this. I can still use the skill of pickup. I can still cold approach. I can do it like every day. But I don't need to do it with this same fucking selfish ass. Let me get my dick hard. Let me dominate. Let me come. Energy. You don't need that energy. If that's where you are, be there. Work through it. Contemplate. Reflect on yourself. Feel your emotions that you're pushing down. Feel your true desires. Feel how it feels to have like mixed energy with someone. Meditate more. Purify more. Notice the difference between when you feel very pure on your own with lots of energy, feel quite creative, feel quite inspired, versus you've just shared all of this weird, like low consciousness, kind of depressed energy with a casual sex partner or with someone you've just cold approached and now are having like sex with. And now you're just in like kind of a lower state of mind and you're just not as in touch with yourself and happy. That's what it comes down to, man. Happiness. Are you doing things that align with you being fucking happy, man? Have a think about it, man. It takes time, but just keep going, man. Honestly. You get through it and you get so much more clarity. Yeah? So good luck, my friend. Sweet, man. Okay. Very last thing for me, dude, is going to be, if you'd like to work with me one-to-one, I do offer coaching and mentoring. If that is interesting to you, dude, you can see the link in the description. Otherwise, my friend, we shall call it there. Dude, lots of love. Take care. And as always, man, peace.